Good morning, students. As you all know, we have started a new lesson, chemical change and chemical bond. So today, children, let us start a new topic in it. So the topic today we shall be learning is chemical bond. So what is a chemical bond and what are the different types of chemical bond? Okay, so let's begin. Now children, here we have seen in our last video that when a wood is burning, it gets converted into ashes, right? So the properties which a wood is having is not the same as the property of that ashes. That means there is a chemical change, right? The burning of wood, after the burning of wood, it is getting converted into ashes, and the property of ashes is not similar to that of the wood. So it means that there is a chemical change here after burning of wood. So what actually is happening? The reactant, okay, the reactant, it's getting converted into product. So when in the reactants, the bond which is there, it is breaking to form a new bond, that is new product. So this is what actually is happening in the chemical reaction, where in the reactants the atoms or the elements are losing their electron, that is the bond is breaking and a new product is formed. They are accepting those electrons and forming a new product. Therefore, this is called a chemical change. Are you getting me, children? Okay. Now, children, firstly, let us learn about the chemical bond. What exactly chemical bond means? Before studying chemical bond, let us see the relationship between electronic configuration and valency. So first we will see what is electronic configuration. The electronic configuration is the distribution of electrons of an atom or molecule in an atomic orbitals. That means the distribution of electrons of an atom in an atomic orbital is known as electronic configuration, where the atoms or molecules, what they do, they distribute their electrons. Now, valency. The valency of an element is related to how many valence electrons are present in the outermost shell. So how many electrons are present in the outermost shell, that will say you the valency of an electron. Now here neon, the example we see as neon. Neon is the noble gas and they do not form any chemical bond as their electron octet or duplet is complete. So the octet of this neon element is complete. It is having all 8 electrons in the outermost shell. So its octet is complete. Therefore, it is a noble gas. Understood, children? Now we'll see the next example. Here, in oxygen, while the atoms with incomplete electrons or duplet from the chemical bond. Here we can see the oxygen atom where the outermost shell is having only 6 electrons. that is its octet is not complete. Reason for this is that an atom uses its valence electrons during the formation of chemical bond. Moreover, on forming a chemical bonds equal to its valency, the atom attains the electronic configuration of complete octet or duplet. You can see here one more example of water molecule, that is H2O, where oxygen is having a bond between two atoms of hydrogen forming a water molecule. So this is how a chemical bond is formed. Now let's see the types of chemical bond. The first one is ionic bond and the second one is covalent bond. So ionic bond and covalent bond are the types of chemical bond, and first we will study about ionic bond. Let us first see how the compounds of sodium chloride is formed from the atoms of the constituent elements sodium and chlorine. For this purpose, let us see the electronic configuration of sodium and chlorine. Here there are two elements, sodium metal and chlorine gas. So these are the electronic configuration, where sodium elements, its electronic configuration is 281 and the valency is 1. That means only one electron is there in the outermost shell. In chlorine, the electronic configuration is 287, where the valency of chlorine is 1. Means it requires one electron to complete its octet. So, sodium what will it do? It will lose its one electron to complete its octet forming sodium ion, whereas chlorine will accept one electron to complete its octet, forming a chlorine anions. So, on the other hand, valence shell of chlorine atom contains an electron less to the octet state. On accepting an electron from outside, octet of chlorine is completed. Now here children see sodium, the outermost shell is having only one electron, so it easily loses its one electron and forming sodium ion, that is Na plus ions. So the outermost shell of this sodium atom is complete, the octet is complete, so it is forming an anion, that is Na plus ion. Understood children? How it is losing its one electron to complete its octet and forming the sodium plus ions. So this is what the sodium atom is doing to complete its octet and forming sodium plus ions. So it has become an neutral atom. Now see what is happening in chlorine atom. Chlorine, what it does is it gains that one electron, because the electronic configuration of chlorine is what? 287. So it needs one electron to complete its octet. After gaining that one electron, its octet is complete. Again, it has become a neutral atom. So this is how sodium is losing its one electron and forming a sodium anion, and chlorine is accepting one electron and forming a negatively charged chlorine ion and positively charged sodium ions by losing its one electron. So children, are you getting me? Is it easy for you to understand now how the ionic bond is formed? Okay, so sodium loses its one electron and forms for positively charged Na plus ion, while chlorine gains that one electron and forms negatively charged chlorine ions. Now children, when the elements sodium and chlorine combine, an atom of sodium gives its valence electron to a chlorine atom, whereby the cations, that is Na plus, and anions, that is Cl minus, are formed. Due to the electrostatic force of attraction between the opposite charges, the oppositely charged ions get attracted to each other and a chemical bond is formed between them. Okay, so when the elements of sodium and chlorine combine, so sodium loses its one electron in the valence shell and chlorine accepts that electron. Okay, so the chemical bond formed due to an electrostatic force of attraction between the oppositely charged cation and anion is called an ionic bond or electrovalent bond. So children, this is the definition of ionic bond or electrovalent bond. The bond formed due to the electrostatic force of attraction between whom? Between the oppositely charged cations and anions. The compound formed by means of one or more ionic bond is called ionic compound. Now look here children, we have seen one example. Here magnesium atom, okay, it is losing two electrons, and here we can see chlorine atoms, two chlorine elements, where they are accepting these electrons. So the electronic configuration that of magnesium is first 282. That means the outermost shell is having two electrons, valence electrons. And by losing those electrons, chlorine atom will accept, it will gain that electron and they will complete their octet. So Mg will loses its two electrons. So what will it form? Mg plus ions plus two electron. And chlorine, two chlorine atom plus two electrons. It will accept and form two anions, that is Cl minus. So this is how they will complete their duplet or octet. Are you getting me children? So let's see once again. Mg, that is magnesium. What is the electronic configuration of magnesium? It is 2, 8, 2. That means two electrons are there in the valence electron. And what about chlorine? It is 2, 8, 7. Right? Both the chlorine atoms. So magnesium will loses its electron and it will form the electronic configuration as 2, 8. And that of chlorine will be 2, 8, 8. This is how they will complete their electronic configuration. So the next bond we will study is covalent bond. Now let us see what it is. A covalent bond is formed when atoms of two elements having similar properties. Generally, a covalent is bond when the atoms of two elements have similar properties. Such atoms cannot exchange electron. Instead, these atoms share electrons with each other. So here there is the sharing of electrons between the similar atoms. The shared electrons become a common property of both the atoms, and thereby the electron octet or duplet of both the atoms becomes complete. So here children, in covalent bond there is a sharing of bond between the two elements having similar properties. And this is how with the shared electrons they form their electrons are complete. The octet is complete. So let us first consider an example of hydrogen molecule, formation of covalent bond in hydrogen molecule. Now here hydrogen atom, it has one electron in its outermost shell. Its duplet is short of one electron and therefore the valency of hydrogen is 1. The two atoms of hydrogen are identical and have similar tendency, and therefore they share their electrons with each other. Okay, because they have only one electron in its outermost shell. As a result, the electron duplet of both the hydrogen atom is complete and a chemical bond is formed between them. The chemical bond formed by sharing of valence electrons of two atoms with each other is called a covalent bond. One covalent bond is formed by sharing of two valence electrons. So children, the H2 molecule from two hydrogen atoms, using the diagrammatic representation of electronic configuration, we can see on the screen. Now we'll see a next example, covalent bond in H2O molecule, that is water molecule. Now H2O molecule of a covalent compound is formed from hydrogen and oxygen atoms. There are 6 electrons in the valence shell of oxygen atom. It means that electron octet in oxygen is short of 2 electrons and the valency of oxygen is 2. In H2O molecule, the oxygen atom completes its octet by forming two covalent bonds, one each with the two hydrogen atom. In the hydrogen atom, the valency of hydrogen is 1. So, this happens. While this happens, the duplets of the two hydrogen atoms are also completed. It means when oxygen share its outermost shell with the hydrogen atom, together by sharing of electrons, they form a molecule, that is water molecule. Now let's see one more example, that is covalent bond in HCl. Now here hydrogen, as we all know, hydrogen, it has only one electron in its outermost shell, and chlorine, it the one electron is short in the outermost shell. So hydrogen and chlorine will share its electron to form a covalent bond. So H hydrogen plus Cl, that is chlorine, will form the hydrochloride. Okay, it will share the electron and complete their octet or duplet to form hydrogen chloride molecule. So children, I hope you all must have understood today's topic, that is chemical bond and the types of chemical bond also. Okay. See you in the next video, children. Till then, thank you.